The place that mankind, who have been completely freed from the world, by dying in the great world cataclysm, will directly go to, as we mentioned, is a semi-subtle higher plan relative to the world, which we call the plan of love. In this plan, the prevailing reality is love. More correctly, mankind who will pass there, will live there for a while, in order to perform various applications of love in that plan, and consequently, to become able to completely adapt to the higher necessities of the plan of duty. Thus, the semi-subtle realm, or the plan of love, is above all, an intermediary plan. That is, it is an intermediary plan, which ensures the transition of mankind, who have been freed from the heavy burdens of world realities, to the very subtle plan of duty, through an easy, sweet and happy advance. In order to be able to pass to a higher stage, after the completion of every stage of material development, it is imperative for all beings, plant, animal, human, to go through such intermediary plans. 4. The functions of these plans are very significant. For example, at some stage, an animal being has attained the merit of utilizing a body in a higher stage, that is, the human body, after properly completing the stage of animality. This lasts for a very long time, and the animal being cannot immediately leap to humanness from the stage of animality. 4. Even if it has properly developed in its own right, there are still very significant and profound differences between using the animal body it has used so far, and using a human body. So, that being, after going through certain transitional stages between the body realities, will be able to adapt completely to the necessities of humanness, and to adjust using the human body properly. Therefore, it needs to live in a plan, which will allow it to do such a transitional preparation. And this is its semi-subtle realm. Here, that being encounters some situations, which prepare it to the necessities of humanness, and after doing its transitional application in those situations for a while, it steps into the human realm, in order to start from its most primitive stage. However, he still cannot immediately enter into the state of an independent human being. First, it enters a state of ability, to build the components of the human brain, and afterwards, by living in the human brain cells for a long time, and rendering the applications of human body management as required, that is, upon acquiring the merit of using a human body independently, it connects to the world, by bonding to a human body, in order to use that body for its following evolutions, and it embodies with a body in the state of human, and later, as we previously said, it completes all evolutionary stages in the world, with its human body. The semi-subtle realm, which the mankind needs to go through, in order to pass into the superhuman plan, is incomparable in scope and extent, to the intermediary plans which are needed to be gone through, while passing from the subhuman realm to the stage of human. Intermediary plans have their own particular means, to prepare the beings from the lower plan for the higher plan. These means belong to neither the realities of the plans they have left, nor the realities of a higher plan. These are merely vehicles, which ensure the transition of mankind who will pass from the lower plan to the higher, without any shocks in the face of the differences, which exist between these two plans, in other words, their adaptation to the unaccustomed realities of the higher plan in the shortest way, and these vehicles, in one aspect, contact the realities of the plan left behind, and in other aspects, display some states akin to the next plan. However, they are actually neither the realities of the plan left behind, nor the realities of the plan to be passed to. They are merely a preparatory mechanism particular to the intermediary plan. The preparatory means of the semi-subtle realm, that is, of the intermediary plan which the mankind will enter after the world, is love. The love in here, although it is not the love as it is understood and felt in the world, nonetheless has an aspect which is close to the one in the world. Although the love in the world is different than the concept of true love in the plan of duty, nonetheless it has the value and quality, which can be a preparatory step to that love. Because of this, thanks to this preparation he has done in the world, a human being who acquired the merit of entering the realm of love, that is, the semi-subtle realm, will participate in this great mechanism of love, which is completely different from the love in the world, and incomparable to it in its scope and extent. The thing that beings should do in this plan is to utilize the miscellaneous variations of this very encompassing and extended love, in order to benefit from their possibilities, which are preparatory for the higher plan of duty. Therefore, the quality, which cannot be understood by world mankind, of the love in here, displays very powerful states, which ensure the beings in the intermediary plan to adapt to the higher realities of the plan of duty. 4. Completely accepting and adapting to the plan of duty is not an easy task. Success in here has technical issues which entail many efforts. The efforts in the plan of love are completely different from the efforts spent in the coarse deeds in the world. None of the hardships, troubles, suffering, torments, tortures, diseases and deaths, which always stand against the mankind during the efforts in the world, exists here. The effort in here occurs in accordance with the increase in the comprehensions of the beings, which is realized swiftly in the plan of love, as filled with pleasures and happiness, which are much more enjoyable. As a matter of fact, the sparkling intuitions of this great happiness, which emerged in the essence beings of the mankind while they were still in the world, attract mankind to itself. However, mankind cannot attain this happiness in the world, in spite of their longing. Nevertheless, mankind always pursues and raves about it throughout their lives, without knowing its quality, and without having the ability to describe it. And from the moment they leave the world, they will jump into the lap of this happiness, which they longed for, pursued for ages, but could not get a hold, and even could not specify its quality, in the plan of love, and then, they will satisfy themselves in the real sense. In other words, then, they will understand what contentment means, which they have never been able to attain in the world. The first primitive steps of the love which prevails in this plan begin in the world with the name of love, and by occupying the whole life of the semi-subtle realm, end at the threshold of the plan of duty. Therefore, this great and encompassing love will also reach its final stage towards the plan of duty, and complete its function there. This function of love is very necessary and significant, in regard to its ensuring beings adapt completely to duty. 4. This function of love provides the great possibilities of enablement of entering into duty. The plan of duty is a completely different sublime plan. Since we have previously given the necessary knowledge about this plan, we do not repeat them here. We will suffice to say this, that the plan of duty is a plan which is throughout harmonious and ordered, a togetherness, a complete and pure cooperation, and coordination. Not even the slightest disharmony, contradiction, or contrariness exists. For the beings who will enter there, it is necessary that they have absolutely and exactly adapted to this harmony, and it is even imperative that they have become part of that harmony, and this can be possible by many preparatory stages which need to be gone through on this path. After all, the harshest, most primitive, hardest and most suffering stages of the levels, in the preparation for duty, are gone through by mankind, in the long cycles belonging to the world's life. Afterwards, in the semi-subtle realm, that is, in the plan of love, the last stages of this preparation which lead directly to the plan of duty, will be completed willingly, as we have just said, with much ease, comfort and happiness. Consequently, through the sublime mechanism of love in this realm, the power to adapt the harmony and necessities of the plan of duty will be acquired. Therefore, the sublime love in this plan is a sweet and basic means of reaching the great plan of duty. While the beings live within the variations of love in the semi-subtle realm, there is as well the earthly cravings particular to this place, which will stand against the beings. We will soon talk about the quality of this earthly craving. In the plan of love, it is imperative for the beings to abolish and become free of these earthly cravings of theirs, which prevent them from preparing for the great plan of duty, as soon as possible. And this will be ensured, as we have said, through miscellaneous applications of love. This is enjoyable work and occupational field for the beings, quite unlike the strife and suffering that need to be gone through during the abolishment of coarse earthly cravings in the world. And as a consequence of these sweet occupations, eventually these obstacles will be abolished, and the beings will step on the first steps of the great plan of duty, within an imperceptible flow. For this, there is no need in there for major shocks, tumultuous transitions and deaths, as in the world. For such states will actually be out of the question for the beings, after they have left the world. Consequently, the beings who have completed and passed the plan of love, will step on the first steps of the plan of duty, and they will be given duties right away.